Hello, my name is Kathy, and today we will be starting Lesson 7 from the Teach Yourself to Play the Folk Harp book by Sylvia Woods. In my video called Before You Begin, I go over a lot of details concerning practicing and issues that you may be facing with regards to learning the folk harp. Please review this video to answer many of your questions. This music course continues to pick up even more speed with this lesson, and you will find that you need to spend more time with this lesson. This is perfectly normal. However, one of the goals you probably have for yourself with regards to the harp is the concept of being able to just sit down with your harp and playing lots of different pieces of music for yourself and others. Enjoyment. So we will continue on with the modified sight reading as explained in the last lesson, plus something new. So with this lesson, go back to the pieces from lesson 1 to 5 and play them just once before you begin the material in lesson 6. Do this with each practice session. Just play the pieces from lessons 1 to 6 before you begin the work on lesson 7. So to start this lesson, go over all of the exercises from lessons 1 to 6 before beginning the exercises for lesson 7. In exercise 7 on page 45 of your book, we are introducing the 4-note chord in broken form. This is a very common note pattern that is used extensively throughout music, so this is an important exercise to master. Sometimes when a section of a piece of music is repeated, the last measure, or several measures, is a bit different than the second time through. Special brackets with a 1 are placed over the ending measure that is played the first time through, and then a special bracket with a 2 is placed over the measure that is played instead the second time round, as shown in the example at the bottom of page 45. This occurs twice in our first piece for this lesson, which is titled Trip to Sligo, or Lark on the Strand, which is found on page 46 of your book. What happens is that you play the first half of the piece with the first ending, then repeat the first half of the piece, and then use the second ending instead. Then continue with the second half of the piece, using the new first ending, then repeat the second half of the piece using the new second ending. This piece of music also introduces extensive use of the 4-note chord pattern. Our next piece of music is called Minuet by J.S. Bach on page 47 of your book. This is a very famous piece of music by Bach and makes extensive use of the 4-note chord pattern as well. Our last piece of music for this lesson is called Farewell on page 48 of your book. This is a beautiful piece of music that makes extensive use of the 4-note chord pattern. To continue on with our modified sight reading, we will begin to introduce music from Sylvia Woods' 52 Scottish Songs for All Harps. This is the book. 52 Scottish Songs for All Harps. In this book, each piece of music is arranged for both beginner harp and advanced harp levels. For our purposes at this point, we will begin to learn some of the pieces of music from the easier arrangements of this book to serve as easier and quicker to master pieces of music that can be placed into our modified sight reading program. How we do this is that you would practice all of the lesson of what's involved with lesson 7 normally. If this lesson takes you more than 2 weeks to master, then we would introduce a new piece from the 52 Scottish Songs for All Harps book at the beginning of your 3rd week with this lesson. If it takes you longer than this to master this lesson, then keep adding one new piece each week from the new book. Learn these new pieces of music just as you would your normal lesson music. Clap and count them out, and then learn them hands separately and then put them hands together. I will be making teaching videos on all of the music in the new book, and you can refer to those videos for teaching assistance on some of the pieces. If you need to supplement this lesson from the new book, this is the order of pieces to learn. The first one would be number 1, Old Lang Syne. This is the easy, and you would use the easy arrangement that's on page 6 of your book. The second one would be Ballou Ballerie, and you'd choose the easy arrangement on page 10 of your book. The third would be Bra Bra Lads, the easy arrangement on page 24 of your book. And number 4, Corn Rigs Are Bonny. You'd choose the easy arrangement on page 32 of your book. And number 5, Dumbarton's Drums. You'd choose the easy arrangement on page 34 of your book. Now, it's not important that you do all 5 of these extra pieces of music. You just supplement one of them with each week that you need to finish this particular lesson. So, to recap this lesson, first play through all the pieces from lessons 3 to lesson 6 just once. Then practice all the exercises from lesson 1 through lesson 6 before learning the new exercises from lesson 7. Practice all the pieces from lesson 7. Clap and count out the right and the left hand, then play the pieces hands separately and then hands together. If you're still working on this lesson by week number 3, then start to learn the first piece from the secondary book entitled 52 Scottish Songs for All Harps by Sylvia Woods. These new pieces should be quickly learned, and then they're incorporated into the modified sight reading section of your practice time. As discussed in last week's lesson, in order to advance as quickly as possible, it is important to have some really difficult for you to master music, and some easier to master music. It is important to have these 2 levels of difficulty incorporated into your regular practice schedules, and that's what the new book helps you to achieve, the easier to learn stuff. This is exercise number 7 from lesson 7. And you do this exercise in the right hand as is written, and in the left hand an octave lower. And this is our first piece of music called Trip to Sligo, or Lark on the Strand. Great! And this is our next piece of music called Minuet by J.S. Bach. Great! And this is our final piece of music for the lesson called Farewell. Excellent! Now, to stay up to date with my latest videos, make sure to subscribe to this free YouTube channel by clicking the red subscription button right below this video. Okay, take care!